Get it with me. Hey, where were you? You was dancing last time. I liked it. You was kind of like. Look at Dana go. You was doing a little jiggle.
Oh.
What's up? What's up?
Hi, guys.
Good
We're
morning,
back.
you
We are
motherfuckers.
back again in the house.
Yes.
Welcome to Between the Sheets with Leah. I have my
yes.
co-host here.
Dana Keith,
What?
father, filmmaker, creator. And then we also got Whitney in the building.
What? W-H-I-T-N-E-Y.
That's her
Makeup.
thing. That's her
What?
thing now.
Yes.
She's a jack of all trades, guys.
Look,
What?
We have to highlight a little bit deeper into the story, kind of like some of our fans have recommended
Yes.
into
Yeah.
Whitney
Shout out
as
Shannon.
well.
Oh, yes,
and then
yes.
we're going to go a little deeper into Leah's story.
Yep.
And y'all threw a little curveball at me today out here.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
He said 3 months. We said 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Dang.
3 weeks. I
Part
said
2.
3 weeks on the podcast, I think. Yep.
Part 2.
Wow.
Part 2.
Yes.
This is
Dana.
crazy.
You know, we had a lot of feedback. People were really digging that podcast. And so it's just important. You know, I know that for whatever reason you have that you want to kind of push it off for a little bit. You know, I think that you think that you're coming, maybe you're coming to a certain point, but you're
my
in the grid of it right now. That's so
Yeah.
important.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the best part.
That's the best part. So
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm scared, y'all, because like I'm gonna be
No.
real. Like last episode was super emotional.
That was
like,
heavy.
It was heavy on me.
How
it was
did you
heavy,
it
but
was-
it was good.
It was very
really
good.
good.
It was almost like I realized I have so much to say,
Yeah.
and then it's like on part 2. But what do I complete that with? So like I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't
I'ma
know.
help
Like
you.
She already has it planned out.
yeah,
help you. I'm gonna help you, Dana Keith.
yeah.
I do have a question though. How did you feel like mentally and physically after you shared all of that information? Like,
Well-
did you feel a release?
I felt a lot of emotions.
Okay.
Like first off, I was grateful. Like, you know, I'm very humbled that I even have the platform to speak like that,
Yes.
because I don't speak like that anywhere else. So like that's the unique Between the Sheets
Yes.
plug.
Yes.
That like it's
That
super
we need to plug in
different.
other places.
Yes.
It's super different. You know what I'm saying? And I did plug other places, but
Say my name. Say my name.
it's super.
She wants to hear
I'm
it.
making this a meme because I swear to God, I've said your name so damn much. But look,
So that lady.
look.
I work with a
lady
photographer.
in
I'm
Fountain.
like, Dana, I got a name.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I plugged your name just so you know.
All right, which episode is that so I can make sure that I watch
She's
it back?
gonna
I'm
go
going
watch it
to.
right
I
afterwards.
promise you, I'm going to make a little. I'm gonna make you a TikTok. I'm gonna make you a TikTok.
here we
And I
go.
filmed it this morning, so I already have the idea. You know what I'm saying?
I'm joining.
Just know that
You know what
I
I'm
got footage
saying?
too, okay?
Yeah. Well, God is good.
I'm waiting
you know
to
what I'm
drop. Waiting to drop. So.
saying? Look. Well, I'm just.
She
gonna,
does have some.
I'm just gonna keep creating. You know what I'm saying? We're just
Me
gonna
too.
keep creating.
So, all right, let's just kind of dive back into Dana Keith's story and catch our listeners back up to where we kind of stopped off. And that portion where we stopped off was you were just coming to Colorado. So, what?
You're
you
so
laugh?
funny. You a podcast
she's
host
right
and the way
into
you
it.
recap.
She's right into
all right,
it.
All right. So I got a couple things that I want to plug before we get to Colorado.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Because I thought about like my story, and like there are some key things that I think that should be told. Like for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, first off, like one of the key things in my life was always my friendships.
Mm-hmm.
So like I built a family outside of my family.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Which
Do
is
you, and do you
necessary.
understand why you do that?
Well, it's one of God's gifts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That when I was young, I realized, especially in high school, that I had a very such a variety of friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Meaning like what? Their background or just like
Yeah,
their
like
nationality?
I mean,
or-
my crew was mixed as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them were from Branchwood that moved over to another neighborhood. And then there was some homies that I met in school that like really like we was a close family. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm gonna just plug it because like it's silly, but like it's what we lived by. Like we didn't want to be like a gang, but we wanted to be a family.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, you know, obviously you have your gangs in like red, blue colors and things, and like our thing was like green. But
Why green?
green. Well, green is it's kind of what brought us together was the weed thing, but like it was just like we all had like great ambitions. You know what I'm saying? But we made this
Did
name.
you guys-
It's called Verde. All right,
Verde,
Okay.
like you know that is.
Oh,
This is
green.
It's
That
green.
makes sense. Okay,
it's
that
green.
makes sense.
Okay, so I had a unique group of friends that I really bonded to. That I found that like they are still my family. You know what I'm saying?
wonderful.
So like,
Yeah.
like
don't
that
get
was
that a lot.
that was special to me. Like to grow up having them
And
to
then
still
still-
have them.
and still have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's kind of
huge.
unheard of sometimes. You know, you have friends from way back when,
Yep.
and then you know, life and you kind of move on and whatnot. I do have a few girlfriends near and far that I keep in touch with, and one that I just kind of recently connected with again, who was a very good friend of mine back in the day. So that's exciting for me. Juanita,
Yeah.
I've known
Yeah.
since the 9th grade. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
her and I were road dogs from a while ago. So.
Nita.
See,
Shout out to Nita.
I love those long time, friendships.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that kind of is like a foundation to like who I am. Is because like at one point or another we all lived with each other one way or another. We really grew up together. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
what I found is growing up in my household, and I think I may have said this in one of the podcasts, is that I had a good home. I had a really good home,
Right.
food on the table, clothes on our back, went to a school. We lived in Whitefield, so there
Right.
wasn't like crime and drama and everything like that. But I think what I realized growing up is because I sat out the streets too, and I had to figure out why. Why did I seek out these friendships? Why did I seek out
Right.
these groups of individuals? And it was because emotionally I wasn't being fed at home.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they were there and they were present, but I did
Right.
not have an emotional connection, especially with my mom,
I will say you and your mom seem very different, like opposites in certain ways.
I was daddy's girl,
Yeah.
and my sister was closer to my mom. And so when my dad passed, that hit heavy for me because I was really close with my dad. And he really did have the more emotional. He was playful and fun and
Right.
did a lot with us kind of outside the house. But he, was fishing and
Yeah.
firecrackers and,
Yeah.
that kind of
Dad
stuff. But
stuff.
yes, the dad stuff. But that is why I realized that I sought out all of these different friendships because I was missing an emotional connection.
Yeah.
And I desired that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a place, a home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Family.
Yeah,
I can
family.
relate because I remember you brought that up about how, you used to love going over to like your friends' family dynamics and being
Yeah.
around it and being and enjoying that. That was
Yeah.
me. I was a
Yeah.
latchkey kid, so I was cooking dinner for me and my mom and waiting for her to get home and go to bed. But when I would go over to my friend's house, they're all eating dinner together
Right,
and
right.
watching TV together
And you
and
see it and
hanging
it's
out. I'm
something
like,
different.
this is
Yeah.
so dope. I wish I had this.
And many
Yeah.
times we always wish what we don't have,
Yep.
Right.
And then when we do have it, we don't appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Ain't that the truth? That's life in
Yeah.
a nutshell, for real.
Yep.
But yeah, but in high school, like my dad, kind of opened up and allowed like all my homies to like really like live at my house at some point.
Wow.
So like we had a wild like child.
That was kind of a change, wasn't it? Because he was kind of
Yeah.
keeping you from a lot of that,
So
or
once
trying to.
It was once he got retired. So once he went in retirement, like he changed. You know what I'm saying? So like his whole life changed. Then he went into real estate, and once he got into real estate, then his life went crazy, like wild. But you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That was just
Awesome.
a phase. That was a phase that like I'm grateful for, and I look back on. It's like that was a wild phase before I got to Colorado.
Right.
Like
So you had gotten kicked out of college. You had that run-in with the cops, and that's
Yeah.
when you had that kind of epiphany of like, all right,
Yeah.
I got to get this together.
yeah, and,
And
at
then
at that same time, I'm fighting my father. Like I had a big fight with him, and like we kind of
You told him
Spread-
F you.
yeah. Yeah, I finally stood up for myself and like, all right, oh my God, this is so terrible. I'm gonna tell this story. So like, one of my like most like picture perfect memories is the moment that I stood up for myself and I was wilding. Like you gotta understand who I am. I have a big heart, but when I zone out, like I can go crazy. And I'm almost afraid of that person. You know what I'm saying?
Is it the anger or just there's
yeah,
no filter?
it's a lot of anger, but it's also like, everybody can be anybody. You know what I mean? And I feel like I can get really to the dark person, or I could be really the light person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we all battle with that. That's
Yeah.
I think for me, biblically speaking, that is the battle of the spirit and the flesh.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
So when I was going through that in that time frame, I just remember in the front yard when like we got into a fight, we almost threw fists.
wow.
He's circling me, and I'm just standing there like, cause he like we got into a big fight in the house and shit, and like he got into the front yard, and I just remember grabbing the hose and spraying him in the face with water. I did that to my father. That's how I didn't give a no more. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You can't fuck with me no more.
And what did
You know
he
what I'm saying?
do?
Like he was trying to kill me, but he wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if he would threw a punch, we would have fought. You know what I'm saying? That's how it really was.
Yeah.
But it was with my sister, my best friend, like my niece, my baby. She was only like a month, maybe 2 months old. Like, and he was spazzing out, disrespecting, and that's what made me go to that level. Was for my family. I don't do that for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Wow.
yeah, that shit was crazy.
Enough is enough. Yeah. And, I think that's a good point, just even in mental health as in itself, is that so many people can hold things in and hold things back. It's most of the time it's the quiet ones you got to watch out for.
Yes, those are the crazy ones.
They are the crazy ones, but you can, build up and build up and build up until eventually you have to
Release.
release. And sometimes that release doesn't come in the most healthiest of ways.
Right.
So, all right. So your stepmom,
Yeah.
she gave you, or you kind of gave them the choice, because she kind of said either New York or Colorado.
Yep.
And you said, as long as Jessica
Yeah.
comes, then I'm good with Colorado.
Yep.
All right. So bring us to Colorado.
So I drive out
Pumpkin
here.
spice lattes.
Yeah, so
boots.
I remember driving out here. There was fires in the mountain. You know what I'm saying? It
Waldo
was
Canyon.
It was 2012. It was July 1st when I first got here.
Do you remember how old you were at this point?
Well, 2012. What was that? 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So what?
20.
30. So 21. I was 21.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 21, y'all. Can you imagine 21-year-old Dana?
When I was 21, I was raising a kid.
I was a wife at 21.
Yeah,
I
Doing
wasn't
life.
wilding. I wasn't doing nothing but
No.
being a housewife.
Yeah.
I was cutting up. You know what I'm saying? So I got to Colorado. Basically, the first thing I wanted to do was get a job, and I went back to what I knew. What I knew was Sonic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got a job at Sonic. Just
Did you
made
have
some
to wear the
cash.
skates?
I love to skate.
Good.
All right, so this is a childhood thing. Like when I grew up, like skating was a thing.
Yeah.
Like when
Yes.
we used to
All
go,
over the place.
we used to
Yes.
go to the skating rink.
Skate
like
City
that
was where it
that
was
was
at.
like where it was at. So yeah, I'm a skater. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I wore the skates, and plus I made more tips.
Because you was
I was
fast.
busting ass, and plus people route with me. You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
route with me
Yeah.
when I pull up on skates.
I broke my arm skating trying to chase a boy. He was speed skating. And then after that, I got traumatized.
Oh
No more
my
skating for Lea.
god! No more
Now I skate
chasing.
like this, holding the wall with the little walker.
You got the kid walker.
Yeah.
You and my son gonna be together with the walkers.
Yep.
Oh god.
So you were
Yeah.
skating at Sonic.
Yeah, so I basically, this is like the story. So I was at Sonic trying to make some money, and then I hustled my way into T-Mobile, which was next door. Like,
Okay.
like I kept on that manager. I was like, look, man, hey, you need a sales rep? I'm the best sales rep you ever gonna hire.
Yeah.
And so like, and I worked Verizon before I came
you
out
had
here.
experience.
So I worked in Verizon. That was the best money I ever made. And then I came out here, and I just went to Sonic because I was the quickest. So then I tried to weasel my way into T-Mobile. It happened, and then that's when I got like a good job, and I got a house. Like things started happening, and that's kind of where like we had a melting pot. Like all the people from Jacksonville kind of lived all together. Like it was literally like it was me, my sister, my cousin, her brother, and then also a couple friends. So there was like 7, 8 of us in that house.
Dang. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But we all family, like we really grew up in Branchwood all together. You know what I'm saying? This isn't Verde, but this is like before Verde. You know what I'm saying? So like Branchwood is, like I told you, my family. So we literally just hung out every day. And eventually that's kind of how like the music fell into play.
Right.
Is one of the buddies was a rapper, and he made music downstairs in the basement. We all lived together, and he made so much music.
When did you buy your first piece of equipment?
Me? Well, that's when I was in a music video.
Yeah.
My equipment.
That one
Because
that
I was a rapper in the background. I never wanted to claim I was a rapper because I just loved to rap. I did it before in school, in high school. And like I love poems. You know what I'm saying? I think I said that before. Poetry. I love poetry. So like so when I bought my first equipment, I was in a music video and I saw somebody do it. Then they brought it to my crib because we flew him out from North Carolina. I saw him put it into the program. He had like Sony Vegas, which I've never used, but it's a similar program to the one that I got, which was Final Cut. So like I bought my first equipment. It was $200 camera, a terrible camera. And I always say I should have used my phone. I shouldn't even been buying that camera. Like my phone's better than that. But I bought that, got the program, and that's kind of how it started.
And so then you just kind of went into the whole filming aspect.
Yeah, I recorded music videos.
You fell in love with video?
I fell in love with creating. And that's why I think like creator is so special to me. Like, I just love creating stuff and to see myself, like literally I got the program like hijacked, whatever you call it, you know what I'm saying, for free. You know what I'm saying? And then I got the camera.
Was that Chris who got you that program?
You want to know what's funny? It wasn't. But he tried to get me one and it wasn't good. So but look, I got the program and I think like the point that I'm trying to make is like when I shot the music video and it's 2015 on Easter, I shot the music video. I had a video the next day. So like I fell into it, you know what I'm saying? Cuz it's just like video games to me. Like once you figure out what does what, you can kind of have an open platform, do whatever the hell you want.
Sure.
And like as much time as you want to spend into a project, you can make it better and better and better and better and better. You know what I'm saying?
How long did you work at T-Mobile?
Shit, I worked at T-Mobile for like 8 years probably.
Okay.
That's a long time.
Yep.
So I worked in retail for probably like 3-4 years, and then I went to the call center.
Okay.
Yeah. So like this is what I try to tell people is
So
like
you were at a store.
Yeah, I was at a store. I was like an assistant manager. They wouldn't give me a manager position.
Okay.
Because they knew Dana's life, but they loved Dana as a worker.
What T-Mobile store were you at?
I was at like 3 of them. Shoot, I was at 8th Street. I started at 8th Street.
Okay.
And then when I moved up and was killing the game, I was at UVC, which is like Nevada by BJ's, brew house, whatever.
Okay.
And then when they opened up a new store, I was at Centennial where the little shootout happened up there.
Okay.
And I was at T-Mobile when that happened.
Wow.
So,
Dang.
Yeah. It was the Parenthood one?
Yeah.
Time Parenthood
I wasn't at that building. I'm just saying I was at the next one, and my buddies were there.
Funny enough that so when I was always good at sales. I knew that as well as that I was just really good at sales. So I went through. I mean, I worked Hardee's. I worked at, you remember Hardee's?
Yes.
Now it's the Carl's Jr.
Yep.
But McDonald's, and I'd never worked at Sonic. I don't think. Maybe I did for like a week or so, and then I was like, okay, I'm done.
My dad at Sonic, boy.
My dad was, a chef at the First Presbyterian Church. He was the head chef there, and so he was always hiring everybody. Yeah. You needed a job, he would hire you. So they were, like if I had friends, he was like, they need a job. All right, we'll put them as the dishwashers. They started there, busting tables, and I was always a prep, so I got to do a lot of the prep stuff inside the kitchen. Yeah. And so I knew I always had that to fall back on. But after my dad had died, because I was working at Walmart at the time, right here in Whitefield. And after he had died, I was like, okay, like time to like do something. Yeah. I need to, figure this out. And I got into cell phone sales. And so I was with a company called Wireless Retail.
Hey.
And I was working, they had one in the Walmart. They had one. Eventually I went to the Citadel Mall where we had a booth out there. Yeah. And
were you good?
I worked part-time and I was out selling the full time.
I think you would be good.
Yeah. So they were.
So that's probably like, we would rock with each other in the phone world. Cause like I was a salesman. Yeah. At the core, I was always number one. Like I ain't trying to lie, but like, I just love it. There's something about it that I think like our personality relates to. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I thrived in it. So like I kind of excelled. But yeah, that's funny. So tell me about like your sales. Like was you having people coming just for you?
I mean, yes. I mean, eventually
I feel like all your employees will be mad. Yes. You part-time, and you got more people waiting.
They were definitely hating, but I was also, like I would stand out, inside. So eventually I went to AT&T. So Wireless Retail went under. Yeah. And I went to the store up on Vickers in Academy. There was an AT&T store there. And I remember just, being right there at the front of the door. People walk in, hey, how can I help you? What do you need? And they were always like, we got to take turns. I'm like, well, if you ain't on it, then I'm on it. You know?
That was my secret sauce, was the computer closest to the door.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Computer closest to the door.
People
That's
taking
mine.
the breaks in the back. I'm like, I'm right here.
I'm not taking a break. I'm right here.
Yep.
Need to make that money.
Yeah, I had customers follow me from store to store to store.
I asked about T-Mobile because while I was working
T-Mobile.
at AT&T, I saw a job opportunity come up for a store manager, and it was a T-Mobile that was up there by York. I think it was like near York Street, somewhere right in that vicinity. And I went to go apply, and the lady loved me. She actually works right now. She still works for T-Mobile right here in Fountain. And I recognized her when I walked in there to get a phone fix. But walked in there. She loved me. She hired me. And I failed a background test.
She was like, well, I want you here.
Something came up. And so I was like, dang. But I wasn't about to be a manager of a store.
Dang.
You was about to kill it. They never let me be manager, man. They was hating on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all right, though.
So,
I moved over to corporate T-Mobile at that time.
Yeah, so that was call center. And then we heard a little bit of the background with Jackie that you kind of worked your way up into being like a team lead or supervisor.
Yeah. So
and then you met.
I met Bree on. This is a story. Like when I got my job at T-Mobile, we were in the same training class.
Right.
So I met Bree like.
And you was already peeping.
I probably
instant. Like, who's that
girl?
I like her.
Harpo, who that woman? Look at her lips.
Yeah. I was peeping.
Okay. All right. And then Jackie hooked it up for you?
No.
I thought that's what you guys said. Was Jackie kind of hooked that up?
No, like me and her kind of were talking. You know what I'm saying, and whatever happened, we were chopping it up, and then she kind of got like this message.
Like,
that
no,
was
he's not for you.
Like, yo, he's probably probably like that's what God was saying. I don't know. That's just my interpretation. You know I'm ghetto. She never said that, but that's my interpretation. So she was kind of like backing off or whatever, and then like Jackie kind of was like, yo, he's really a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
And your sister still here at that time? Yeah. She's working.
My sister?
Yeah.
Shit. At the time, I don't know. Maybe she was at Sonic. Like I know she was at Sonic with me for a little while, and then she transitioned into like the medical world. Right. You know what I'm saying? But
wasn't she with brother?
My sister? Yeah. Oh, my other sister.
Oh,
okay. My bad.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So I'm just trying to understand. So it wasn't.
So both sisters moved out with me. So when I came out here, Jessica moved here with me. And then Crystal flew out and moved with us. Like she
inside
was
the same house.
Yeah, so like we had people moving in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like,
it's like my house. Yes.
Crystal was one of the first ones. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So Crystal, myself, my sister, and then my cousin Hector. So we all lived together. That was the main four, and then everybody came out. I'm gonna just shout everybody out.
It's the party house.
Yeah, we damn sure was the party house.
Yeah.
Like at that time, party house.
Okay.
For sure.
But everybody was still working, responsible.
Yeah, everybody
like
had a job. Everybody had a job, did their thing until at the end. When the end, and then that's kind of what fell down for me personally. Like I had a house at that time. It was under my name, but it was a joint venture. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, was helping with the rent. But with everybody moving around, it kind of got like I was paying too much of the load. And I'm like, look, I make good money, but like this is wild.
Right.
I'm not paying for you. I'm not sponsoring this whole party.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, like it was all my responsibility and all my fault for how far it got. But at the same time, like it was a 4-bedroom home. You know what I'm saying? It was an upper level and a lower level. Lower level was just as big, and you would never know.
So did you get evicted?
No, like we moved out.
Okay, so that's good. So like you didn't.
Yeah, but like that was probably like the time. My personal goals is to have a home. You know what I'm saying? So that was the closest thing I had to it at that time. So once I left there, I was kind of like house hopping for a long time.
With other people.
Yeah, like my sister, my sister who you referenced, who was working with Brother Luck Crystal. I was house hopping with her. Then I ended up moving with Jessica, my other sister. Moved in with my homie Rodney a couple times, and then that's when I moved in with Bree. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so,
When I
whoa,
have-
whoa,
when I
whoa,
have
whoa,
my
whoa,
son.
whoa, 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 whoa! You guys went to talking to moving in. Dial it back. Dial it back. So you guys had like a relationship in between. Really started to
Yeah.
kind of play up on that, and then
Like we
eventually moved in.
Yeah. Well,
So she gave in to you.
yeah. She sure as hell did. Sure did. Got your ass.
Relentless.
Yeah. She's. It's funny, man. She's still the same. Like that's how she treat me now. She still be trying. Move just far enough to be like this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are living together. You're still working at T-Mobile.
Yeah. So we living together, working at T-Mobile. I have my son. You know,
Okay.
when I moved in with her, it's
And you
really
had your
because I had my
son
son.
in 2018.
18. Yeah. So 2016, I started T-Mobile, and that's when me and Bree was.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started early, and then like we really traveled all over. We did all types of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
So you weren't you were working pretty hardcore in T-Mobile, and what happened with film
Right.
at this
I'm
point?
still doing it always.
Just
I
kinda on the
I
side?
never stopped it. Yeah. So the whole time I'm doing videos for myself now, for like YouTube and vlogging, and then I do music videos. I
will
did
say that
concerts.
Shannon went back and watched one of your Shannon's dope.
Yeah,
Like she
she
goes,
is.
I said, how come you don't like, write on there when you want, when you watch
Right.
something like write? Because she told me, she says, I watched the one of you slanging somebody else's, CDs or whatnot.
Yeah.
And she says, gosh, that was such, she goes, there was a statement that you must have said that if even when you don't believe in yourself, believe in somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like she really watches. And I
Yeah.
said, you
Yeah.
should have commented. And she was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to be like that girl. And I said, no, you're that girl. You're our groupie.
Right.
You're our groupie. That's okay.
something.
But that's so funny that I'm gonna bring this up, but like it's okay to be a fan.
Yes.
Like, and you should be a fan.
Yes.
And like my first thing is that I'm a fan first.
Yeah.
So like when I comment on people's stuff, like it's genuine. One, I like your stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and people, it's okay to do that because you know what? You fan out for a celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And your friend do the same stuff. It's just not on the same platform.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you like it, be that fan.
Yep.
Right.
Shannon, be
You know
that
what I'm saying?
fan.
Yeah, so I got a Dana Key fan, you know what I'm saying? Facebook, I got a little group plug. Whitney, if you want to be a fan, you know what I'm saying? I can go ahead and show you how. Facebook.com.
I said we call
go
them
ahead.
Dan Keith.
Dana Key's fans, you know what I'm saying?
Fans. It's
Yeah.
fan
But
club.
I want to, you know what I'm saying? I've been on this mission of filming, like trying to share my journey.
So
of
hold on,
like,
before you go right there, because I know
Alright.
I'm cutting up a little bit here and there, but so you were traveling with Bree, and you guys were traveling all over the place. And
Yeah.
did you have a love for that? Like, did you love it? Were you just having a good time?
yeah, hell
When
yeah.
did you
Well,
go
I-
so deep into film
Right.
that maybe there was like this? I'm going hardcore.
Okay, you got me.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So like the whole time. The whole time is the answer. But like there was one time I may have went overboard. You know what I'm saying? So like
What does that mean? You went overboard.
He about to tell
I'll
you.
tell you.
Let me tell you, Whitney.
Because to me, like as I look back on it, like there are sacrifices that you make where you have to question. You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
So we all have sacrifices, right? And I think one of the big ones, at least in my eyes, I don't know about if she would say this, but like in my eyes, it was when my son was born. And I went on a trip when he was a week old.
Ooh.
Like a business trip. I went to New York, you know what I'm saying, with Brother Luck.
Was it necessary?
Like to me, it was. It was like, you know what I'm saying? To me, it was. And I don't know, like emotionally, if we ever came back from that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, well, I know, matter of fact, because she has a newborn kid. It's on her own. It's a week. The baby's he was only like 7 or 8 days. I mean, for sure, it was like 7
And
or 8
was
days.
this pre-planned or was it kind of like on a whim? Like, hey, I got to go.
Pre-planned.
Okay.
The date was pre-planned. Yeah.
So you had it planned out, then you had a
Yeah.
son, and it just happened to
Yeah.
fall into
It
that
just
time
happened
frame.
to
I mean,
fall
I
into
see it
that
on
time
both
frame.
sides. It's unfortunate because when you're dedicated to your work,
Yeah.
you should have people around you that don't get in the way of that. And that should be crystal
Yeah.
clear. However,
It's tough.
that's still like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I think like the next thing. Like
I think I'm gonna have Bree on here.
Yeah, I
Like-
think that needs to be.
yeah,
Yes.
it would be crazy to do it, but I ain't gonna be here.
That's all right. That's okay because you know what? I mean, it's
But look, this is what I want to say though. There was one time where I feel like if I could be transparent even more so, because let me say this before I say that. You know what I'm saying? Who I was as a person, as a let's say as a boyfriend or a relationship, my whole life I was trash. If in sense you terms about like loyalty, like I never valued a relationship. I was never faithful. There was not one relationship I was faithful in my whole life until Bree.
Dang.
On my mama, like for real. I never valued a relationship. I didn't value, like, I'm sorry, women, but like at that time, like I didn't see like a long-term thing for me with anybody. You know what I mean? Unless you were willing to go through it with me.
Right.
So that's why like my relationships with certain women is because they went through life with me. You know what I'm saying? So when I come back and say like this next thing was the first time like where business and like my relationship with Bree got into the mix was when a female client and I were texting. And I
you're getting
think
deep.
and I think that that's where like it was crossed the line between like she, like in my eyes, you gotta understand, I've never cheated on her. I would never look at another woman the way that I look at her.
So you're supposed
Especially-
to just know.
So, but between me and her, things were rocky, so there was room for doubt. And I think once that shit just overboiled, then it was like, there's no point in no return. Like, what is going
You've
on?
had a long time to process all of that.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. And you know what? Like, even to this day, I realize that, like, my relationship with my son's mother is either going to make me or break me. And it depends on me. It has nothing to do with our relationship. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm facing in real life, in real time, at all times. Because, like,
I'm just going to say really quick, though, I'm proud of you for taking ownership. You know, there are so many individuals that go through this stuff and go through life, and they will never take ownership of their part and say, I could have done this a little bit differently. I can see from your shoes how this may have looked, you know, and the fact that you are doing that is huge. And so kudos to you
Absolutely.
for processing through the mess and not being like, okay, well, that's
just
that.
a
And you know what I
victim.
mean? Like, yeah, I'm a victim. Exactly. Because so many people take on that victim mentality. Well, you know, it could have very well been. And I hear what you're saying too, because I'm in the, you know, the midst of that whole balance and understanding, like, where do I give more? Where do I stop? But at the same token, just taking that back and saying, okay, yeah, I could have done something a little bit differently.
a lot different.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I can say that's one of the qualities that I learned after my last relationship was truly understanding somebody's dream and passion and allowing them to do that and knowing that that has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Like, I have to allow you to go through this because if we don't see eye to eye, that resentment, that's a cancerous poison.
Yes.
And it gets thrown up
Yeah.
often. And it is always the go back. It's not good. So I'm grateful that I went through the phase of being on the other side of it and then coming back and being like, yeah, I could have been a little bit more supportive and I could have stayed in my own lane a little bit. That's to foresee somebody else's dream. Sometimes you gotta sit in that passenger seat and just root.
That's tough.
You want to know
That's
something
tough.
that I want to say?
It's hard.
Because
Yeah.
because every situation is different, so there's no way I can speak on that situation.
Right.
But I can tell you this, and this has nothing to do with me and Bree, but every relationship, if you want to win championships, has Michael and Scottie Pippen. We talked about this morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this is my point of view. It's not a fact. This is my point of view. Whether you're Michael or you're Scottie, you're going to win the championship. But you don't win without one another.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't care if I'm Michael or if I'm goddamn Scottie. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what position that at this time, and then let's go win the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, respectfully, like, don't lose sight of your own dreams, whoever is listening, because if somebody else has a bigger dream, don't be intimidated.
Yeah.
they need support.
Yes.
Same way you need support.
Yes.
And the truth is that as you guys figure it out together, they will help you as well as you help them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a balance to that.
I think that's so powerful to say because, you know, I think in relationships in general, and I will kind of add to this you know, say that the dance is so important.
Yes.
Because there's a dance in every relationship. And so that's great that there are two individuals, one strong at sometimes, one maybe, you know, and I don't even like to say weak, but it's just that somebody's leading and somebody's not. So that's the dance.
Yes.
And there should be times in life where that position changes a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, because you can't always be that strong person. You can't always be,
Yeah.
at least that's the way that I look at it is that you do
it's
need
a
that
true
support
statement.
and
Yeah.
that you do need to be able
It's
to
ebb and
dance and
flows.
shift.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So I love to call relationships the dance, you know, and sometimes you're going to have people that lead and sometimes you're going to have people that follow. So
It's important, man.
yes. Okay. So you had your son and you're kind of going through this circumstance in your life.
Yeah, and I think that's like, you know, if you listen to my speech where we did Pine Creek, like, and that's when like I got kicked out of
Peaks
that.
and Pines.
Peaks and Pines, my bad.
Pine Creek.
Shout
He's
out,
thinking about
shout out,
golfing.
shout out,
He's
Peaks
still
and
thinking
Pines.
about golf.
I said
Pine Creek
I said
is
Pine
a golf
Creek.
course. Peaks and Pines. Just shout out to Peaks and Pines in Fountain, Colorado.
Pine Creek is a golf course. The membership's $4,000, and I was like, oh man, I could probably just get a membership all year. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Done.
But yeah, so like if you listen to that speech at Peaks and Pines Brewery,
Shout out Teresa.
yeah, so that like when I went through that, and then like honestly like the T-Mobile thing, just to backtrack to T-Mobile, like I was going through like, you know, management, and they wanted me to
Were
be a
you
coach.
blind?
What's that mean?
You're in your relationship right now. These things happen. You couldn't see them then.
She's about
Because
to get you.
because you now can process it and say, okay, yeah, but so were you blind in that time? Like, oh, like I'm not doing anything wrong. Like I'm just living life and doing, or
No.
were you aware?
I mean, I feel as though, and this, you know, everybody has their own perspective or perception of how how things go, but like, I feel like I was very aware. Like, but the things that I believed in, if they proved true, then they would have lived. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So like, I know that like my life is controversial because I choose certain things off of the true belief of my soul. And when I say that, I mean like, I feel like I could have lived 1,000 lives if I chose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want, those aren't for me. You know what I'm saying?
So what is for you?
Yeah.
Shit, I got to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a true statement that, you know, you always are given. It's you always, you know, they talk about that fork in the road. And there are many forks in the road. There are many different avenues that you can go to. And what's so crazy is that we do have a choice in all of that, right?
Yeah.
Like we are given the power of choice to do whatever it is that we choose to do.
Yep.
Go this way, go this way, go this way, you
Yeah.
know, and you can live a totally different life. I you know, it's nobody can say I've been married for 20 years, been together for 23 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
You can have choices in there. You could screw things up. You know, there's
Right.
the book of, I think it's in Proverbs that says that a woman with her hands can build her house up. And with the very same hands, she can tear it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's tough because you have a choice in what your life looks like.
That's
you
the
know?
sucky part about it at the end of the day is it's like you get to see the rubbish afterwards. And it's like, damn, I chose this. Nobody else chose this but me.
Right.
I
Right.
chose this. Now I
Right.
got to fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot.
Crazy. So, all right. So you're going through this circumstance. I'm kind of bringing it back to this because you fell off.
Yeah.
And I say this because, and everybody has heard this, you know, part, I think, you know, multiple times of how did even Dana come into, you know, this position
Right.
or, you know, and I was very inspired by him. I said that before. He was doing, she said that too. Shannon said, she goes, yeah, I was, you know, going through, and I think, you know, she has 2 little ones. And she says, yeah, I was going back, and he says mother effer a lot.
Yeah.
She said, he says mother effer a lot. And I was like, yeah.
The first video when I started working with Leah, she was like, come look at this dude. Listen to this little intro. Isn't it so dope?
Yeah.
So, and I said, that's funny that you say that. I said, because that's what got me was like, he's different. He doesn't care. He's throwing it out there. And so kind of became a fan that way.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And then you fell off. So we met, and we were going to try to do a couple of things, and I didn't know, you know what I mean? We weren't, I was just working with you.
Yeah.
I was trying to implement some things for him and say, okay, like maybe let's, I'm already dreaming big then.
At that time, you were like, I'm trying to think about what ways I can implement him into the business.
Yes. Different avenues, different, I'm always thinking about, which funny enough, listening to Brother Luck and you, one thing that he said in the last podcast that you guys put out was that, and I'm guilty of it, is that always planning on the next. Mm-hmm. And instead of just being in the now and appreciating exactly what you're going through. And I think why I even said on our podcast at one time when you said, what goals, how you're setting off. And I said, I just need to stop right now.
Yeah.
Like it's not that I don't have aspirations, and it's not that I don't have things that I want to accomplish. I know that I'm capable of accomplishing. Like I know that. I have proven to myself over and over again that when I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. That's also a problem.
Right.
Because when I put my mind to something, there's no stopping. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so I need to stop for a little bit.
She's talking about what you were talking about, making sacrifices.
So
yeah. Hey, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's different paces.
Yes. Yeah.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you overload like that, you miss the blessings that are in front of your face while it's happening.
So many times, you know, and you had said something in the last podcast as well, is that if you meet God and you say, you want subtitles, you kind of want subtitles back. I often say that if we were given a mirror in life, that we could look at ourselves when we're speaking, whether it's to our kids, whether it's to our significant other.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That
That's
would be
a good
tough
one
to see sometimes, because we can be all kinds of different people. You said that earlier.
Hell yeah.
And there can be a me that is me in front of my clients. There can be a me that is in front of you guys. There can be a me inside of my home where the real deal shit goes on. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And if I were to place a mirror, would I like what I saw?
Right.
That's a hard question.
Somebody said to me, and it was when I was trying to deal with my anger management, and they said to me, if your personal relationship, all right, was shown, let's say, and you acted like how you act like at home in the workplace, you would be fired immediately. And I thought about that, and I was like, wow, how I speak at home, if I spoke like that in a corporate environment, I may have been fired immediately. I really thought about that, and I was like, crazy. Damn, that's tough to really sit and think about.
I think I thought about that with you. I remember we had a little conversation, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah, so let me, I want to just bring this back full circle, because I want to plug this, because this is an important part for me in my film journey. Is that at one point in T-Mobile, I transitioned from being an assistant, like coach or whatever, and they wanted me to be manager. Well, I told them, like, I can't be manager because I can't put my 100% into this business, because I have my own personal business.
Yeah.
So I told them, I said, I can't be a manager, but this is what I'll do.
Wow.
Is I can help on certain projects with video, because I was bringing my computer like to work to edit in between calls. Dang. And like my leadership.
And they would let you do that?
Hell yeah. Like
they didn't really care.
As long as you was getting
people
your work
play
done.
Video games, man.
You know T-Mobile's going to a mandatory vaccination?
I don't want to talk about that. But
Jackie told me about that though.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. But
anyway,
at that time I was working with T-Mobile when things weren't mandatory, and I pretty much like went into a position, like, because I did a couple projects, they saw that, hey, I do video.
You got potential.
I got a position
Isn't
that
that crazy how that works?
I got a position that they created, which was like a video production position, and it was like a full-time position.
They created that position for you.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So for a whole year, I worked this position, doing video every day for them by myself, like as a one-man team. You know what I'm saying? So that, and then that kind of transitions.
And this is while you're going through what you're going through?
Yeah,
Is
hell
Bree
yeah.
still working at T-Mobile at this time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she worked until she had her son, because I'm not going to say that. I'm just gonna keep that for myself. Cause like I wanted to be, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to provide for her, and I told her that like once you have my son, you don't have to work. Like let me take care of that, blah blah. So when that was our commitment in the very beginning when we had our son, and that was kind of like the pull. It's like, hey, this is our commitment. I'm doing this, but I have to do these things.
Right.
So that was like
okay.
That's the pull. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So mind you, that position was created is when I pretty much had my son. I worked a year, and then right when my son was a year old, like I quit my job, and that's when the breakup happened. I quit my job.
You quit your job before the breakup.
No, I quit my job like that week.
Was your quit your jump into your dreams?
Yes, because I felt like I was missing my opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like I could go get jobs and I could film, but I didn't have time to edit.
Mm-hmm. And probably doing the film work that you were doing for them. I mean, yeah, it fed to your love of work, but it wasn't feeding you.
I don't know. I feel like this passion. I think Lea might, and you do your damn thing. Like every accomplishment feeds me. Mm-hmm. Like this is a journey. It's not one win isn't any more insignificant than the next. Mm-hmm. Like they all mean something to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends at that time what meant something to me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like at different points in my life, I value different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how I started with filming for a friend to then like my first jobs were photo. My first paid jobs, people wouldn't pay me for video. They paid me for photo. But I wasn't a fan of photo per se because I wasn't strong in it. And really, I just took photos and then did video until I was like, man, forget this. I don't want to do photo. I just want to do video. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like at that point is when I started believing myself. Like, and I'm working with Brother Luck at this time. Like, I was like,
talk to me about that relationship a little bit. Because your sister Crystal was working with Brother Luck at some point.
Yep.
Right.
And that's how you guys come to meet.
Yeah. So Crystal was Brother's sous chef at Street Eats in Old Colorado before by Brother Luck. Mm-hmm. So like she was working there, like had a good relationship, and like he saw a music video that I made because she was showing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was probably my best video up to date. And he was just like, I want to talk to him type stuff. We had a meeting that ended up going nowhere. And then when he ended up going to Top Chef, when he came back, he was like, yo, I'm ready.
And where were you at?
Where was I at? I mean, shit, at that time, I was living with my sister.
Already moved out from your relationship. You're already on your own again.
Well, shit. When I first started with brother, like, we were probably at the house still. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I think during that transition, when we were moving, when Crystal moved out or whatever, I ended up moving with her next. I can't put together that timeline too good. I have to figure that one out. Like when I was moving around, bouncing, and when I met Brother. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to. Brother could probably help me out, but if you look at when 4 by Brother Luck opened, which had to be like 4 years ago by now. Yeah. So what is that?
Like 4 or 5 years ago.
17.
Do you feel like you have kind of just erased some of that from your mind?
No, I feel like life continues to go. Mm-hmm. Like, in that time frame, like I was just doing music videos. I was working at T-Mobile. You know what I'm saying? And obviously I was figuring things out. I didn't. See, that's the whole thing. Like, let me backtrack because this is how I got into film. You know what I'm saying? Is like, I just started going to clubs taking pictures of celebrities. And they would come to town, and then I would get VIP. I would be right next to the celebrity.
So you was the cameraman.
Yeah, I was that person. And then Keisha Cole put me on her little profile picture one year. And, like, once that went crazy, then I was like, okay, well, I could be the cameraman. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just dove into these things, like I've always been figuring this out. I didn't have film dreams before. You know what I'm saying?
There was no plan.
There was no plan. Like, you gotta understand what I was doing. I'm a hustler.
It's small steps.
Right.
It's such small steps. I can remember going back to and there's a gap in between, but I went to school and decided I was going to go for dental assisting, and so got my associate's degree in applied science. And then it had an emphasis on dental assisting. And I was still working at AT&T at the time, get into the dental field and picked up a camera, you know, in the lieu of things. So there was never like a plan of like, hey, I want to be a photographer. It was like, I'm trying to make money. I'm going to make money. And this was fun. Let me try this out, you know? So
yeah, that's
crazy.
I get it.
What it is. Yeah,
I get it, but makeup was always
it's a vehicle.
There was no confusion. I knew what I was going to be regardless from the beginning.
That's beautiful, you know.
Yeah, and I knew that I always loved pictures. I loved taking them. I was, you know, take random pictures of people and then flowers and all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, I have boatloads of pictures and albums that, you know, I just took all the time. I was the person with the camera. Yeah. But, and maybe when I was young, I think that I probably did say it would be so neat to be a photographer. Yeah. You know, but never a plan of action like this is what I'm going to pursue.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I even found like like when I had a camcorder when I was young one time, like there was a picture with me with a camera, but even then, like, I remember I was just trying to get video of my family because they were there to visit. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything more to capture that. You know what I'm saying? So like
all these small things, all of these life things bring us to our destination, which I just love the journey.
Right.
Even in the darkest of places, the journey is an amazing thing to go through. And God is always working. Like you know what I mean? Like God is always working in the interim of things, and
going through those steps is necessary.
Yes. And for some of us, going through those things are very necessary. So,
yeah. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
We ain't done. We ain't done yet.
I got one more thing I want to tell you before I quit T-Mobile. Because this is probably one of my favorite accomplishments. Like in the video world, like without having like a true goal, like, you know, obviously people go to the movies, you know what I'm saying? So like when T-Mobile put my film, they made me make a specific project. This is kind of like how I got my job. I proved myself with this. So like it was a 10-minute film about the site, and it was a certain project, and it got played in the movie theater. So they did it for me, and then it happened again. You know what I'm saying? The next year I did that same project. And when I made those 2 10-minute projects and they both got played in the movie theater, and I got to watch my project that I made and shot and edited on the big screen.
That's the best feeling in the world.
I pretty much like, it was the top of my mountain. You know what I'm saying? Before, like, I got word, like, I could go to, because I was kind of, like, in T-Mobile, I almost went to corporate T-Mobile video, like, world in Bellevue. But, like, I chose, like, my business because I didn't want to be under that corporate. Although I could have got education through that, and then I was so attached to helping brother achieve his dreams and being a part of that as well, that I was like, let me go figure it out with my business and brother. And obviously that's when I met you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, so I just remember, you know, Dana kind of falling off, and at that time.
You want to talk about the fall off?
What? No, I'm just saying.
Let's talk about the fall off.
He was gone.
I'm J. Cole.
She said, no, you were, because I remember her bringing you up.
Yeah.
And we talked about, I can't remember if you talked about bringing him into the studio before we moved here. You were talking about something
I'm just going to be honest. I was already kind of done with them. But I mean, I'll just.
And then I was like, what happened? And you were like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. He's nowhere to be found.
No. And when I say that, because I didn't know Dana, I didn't know what he was going through. Right. You know, we had a couple of, he would come and he even thought then of making the studio his office. And he had said that. He said, you know, can I come here and, you know, work back here? And I said, I don't care what you do. Do what you do. You know, and then a few times him and Chris showed up. Hey, we have a photo shoot. Okay, great. Have fun. Yeah. And then one time him and Chris showed up and they were shooting. And I was like, let me go back there and see what they're doing. Yeah. And so I walked into the back and Chris was shooting.
And your brain was like, bing.
My brain was like,
And you know, my brain,
this isn't right.
I don't know no better. I ain't know no better.
Let me help you guys out here a little bit. You know,
your photos is great. Thank you. I appreciate you.
So I just kind of played back there. That's all I did was I just played, you know, and had fun and.
So like, the only thing that comes to my mind about that time frame, like if I could sum it up, like at that point, my business was the best and my personal life was the worst. And like that's the first time that I was like, you know, when I got kicked out or whatever, I had to go figure out my stuff. And then like the business, like everything didn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
like that
because
was,
you were there was a couple opportunities that were given to you, and
they were great. They were, and this is where like the one that you're talking about, that's my dream.
right. Yeah, there was a couple of opportunities that were given, and he was just going through life.
Yeah.
He couldn't. And what I love what you said is taking it back to T-Mobile when they gave you this position. You said, and what I took into that when you said that is that they were going to give you a management position, but you told them like I can't, and it's because we couldn't manage our own life. So how can we manage a team when I can't manage my own life right now?
Can't do it.
And so to say that and to say no is again,
It's huge.
is a really,
It speaks to your character.
it does,
and the nature
because
of who
so
you
many
are.
people will continue to say, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yeah, I'm guilty of it. I am so guilty of it. Yes, 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 I can do that. Yep. You know, even if it goes against like, I don't really want to do this.
I'm still gonna do it. Though.
I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to say yes.
Yeah.
And to
I mean,
be able to say no.
I still battle with that. You know what I'm saying? It's a creator problem, like, or entrepreneur problem. Like you have to time manage and say no.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But what do you
Can't do
say
that.
no to? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like
And when money is involved, it's hard to say no to
it's
money.
very
It
Right,
is
it's
hard to
like-
say no to money
that's
because
like-
that helps us sustain the life that we want to live.
Yep.
But when it becomes the priority, you have to really kind of look at that and say, okay, wait a minute here. And that's where I feel like in my life, I have to trust and know that everything's already worked out for me.
Yeah.
yeah.
That I already chose my destination way ahead of this body and way ahead
Yep.
of this person, that I picked out the things that I wanted to get, and I got God, and I got these things working for me, you know, and it's
Regardless.
going to happen. And Raina reminded me of that as well. She said, look, she said, you are thinking about taking time off, but you're hesitating. She said, I need to ask you, why are you hesitating? And it was really because it's like, do I have faith that
Right.
things are going to be okay? Or am I thinking that I'm in control of everything
Right.
and that I'm going to be the one that is losing because I said no?
It's that owner guilt.
Yeah.
That business
But if
personal business owner guilt.
The thing is if you want to be your best self and you want to be able to pour out and for others to feel that, then you have to pour in. Yeah. You have to take the breaks. You have to say no. You have to be authentic to the choices that you make, you know, that you want to make, I should say, and the things that you want to do, and say no to the things that you don't. Because then you are filled up with just things.
And no, it's okay to say no.
Yes. Well, it's one of the hardest things to say.
Yes.
I was reading a book that says, you know, when your friend asks you to go do something, you really don't want to do it. We say no and give a reason why. Why are we doing that?
Right.
Why can't I just say no? Because
I
if
don't
you
want
just
to.
say no, people take that as like,
Right.
that's rude.
Right.
Like, that's rude, you know, but why? Why do I need to explain? If I can't do it, no, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's a very difficult thing to do. So,
Especially with people like y'all, because y'all love to please others.
yeah.
It's a part of your nature.
And I think it's just
And it's
going.
not a bad thing either. It's a great thing to want to please other people, but you have to make sure you're pleasing you first.
Okay, so we are here in the depth of Dana's life right now, and you're still going through this process.
I'm sick of y'all.
Well, you're still going through it. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
are now
journey.
probably, and I don't want to say a highlight because I believe that you're scaling, and I said that word to you. Is that I believe that you're scaling to other levels, and
Yes.
you're walking this mountain. You're getting higher and higher on this mountain, but you're still scaling while still dealing. So what are you doing in this time frame while you're busy, while you're actually at, again, I don't want to call it the peak, but getting to the peak of your career and what you love doing and your dream that you're actually living?
Right.
What are you doing for this other stuff? This, you know, the gravity that pulls us down and the feelings that are, you know, of not having some portions of our life in.
Well, I just keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, I think like we kind of talk about this, but like my whole story is fail to success. Like, I won't stop. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller.
Yeah, like
Do you feel like that helps you through the pain?
what? Not stopping? Oh hell yeah, hell yeah.
Staying busy.
It's because like
Then we don't have to sit in it.
yeah, it's like it's that action thing that I talk about. It's like, if I wanted to, I could live in a my own, what do they call that? Your own
Mess?
doldrum.
Vomit?
A doldrum, Leah. I could live in my own doldrum, like, you know what I'm saying, and find the victim mentality. I think it's easy, and I'll be honest, like, I'm be super transparent with my personal struggles, like, never mind.
You can't do that.
Super emotional.
You definitely cannot do
you
that.
Can't do that.
Right.
You already gave a tidbit. Come on.
A cliffhanger.
Come on.
Yeah, so like, I'm battling like my emotion. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm an emotional person, and it's a strength and it's a weakness.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like right now my business is the best, and I have the most projects to do, and I have the biggest goal by the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm in a special place, but like, my emotional balance at night is tough right now. You know what I'm saying? So like,
At night.
hell yeah, cause like
You're
man,
sitting
after
in it and you're by yourself. When
Hell
you
yeah.
lay down to close your eyes, you're closing your eyes by yourself.
yeah.
Wow.
By yourself. Your son ain't there. All the other stuff isn't there. It's just you. And then who's healing that you after you've poured out into everybody else? That's a lot.
Yeah.
And those places, I will say, some people think that it's better to be in this
Damn, you
place
got me again, motherfuckers.
by yourself in
Damn.
isolation, and it's not the best place to be. And so, what I will say is that I can't speak. I really cannot speak on what it's like to be alone like that. You know what I mean? And nor do I want to.
It's a different type of hurt when you have something and then you lose it and then you have to be just with yourself.
Yeah.
Like that alone time is consuming.
Yeah, it's like, who do you celebrate your wins with? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Who do you feed your pain to? Like, who do you deal it with? You know what I'm saying?
You can't talk
like,
to a pillow. I mean, you can.
It's not, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm just going through that.
But I think it's important to realize the gems that God has placed in your life, the people that
Yes.
God has placed in your life. And
Yes.
it's not going to be on the same level of an intimate relationship, but
Yeah.
he is still looking out for you.
Always.
He is still looking out for you. And I hear,
I know. And that's just the way that God works. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like,
I see, and I've heard many times brothers speak into your life and say things to you. And I'm like, there's God saying, okay, I'm going to place
Yep.
that one. And I'm going to place that one. And I'm going to show him that I'm very present within these individuals.
Right.
And I think that, we got to open up our eyes to that sometimes when we feel alone. But also for people that are going through something similar in being in a dark place or feeling alone, in these times, you called it night. And I just think that that's so significant that you said night. It's dark. You know what I mean? It's a dark place. Reach out. Gosh, just reach out. And I'm not saying you, because we are not the best people at reaching out to others saying, hey,
Right.
I'm going through it, and
That's
especially
hard.
when you are a dominant leader or, somebody that continues to work and push through and go through. We do not like to say, I'm hurting.
Well,
like
I don't
I'm
want
messed up
I
right
mean,
now.
vomit comes out the mouth. We don't have to sit and speak it out. Like that would be super uncomfortable, right? So why would we want to do that?
Right. But we do need to recognize the individuals around us to see. And if we're paying attention enough, then we're going to see that somebody is going through something. Reach out. Ask, are you okay?
Yes.
Say, is everything good?
You never know what you can change in somebody by just reaching out. Like, whew.
Yeah.
I lost a very, very good friend, and I decided after that point to never, ever, ever do that again. Brandy, God rest her soul. That woman was hurting. She She killed herself in front of her kids, man. And I seen her a week before she did it. And she was crying and in turmoil. And I didn't want to be bothered with it because that was always her MO. But I should have reached out because God only knows what could have happened if I would have just said, hey, girl, come over. Let's do something.
I had a dream.
You're hurting.
I had a dream one time, and I have a friend that is experiencing some depression right now, and I don't understand depression. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. It does, but I just don't understand it because I really, really believe that, you know, we have a big responsibility. Even if we're taking medication, even if it's, you know, the doctor says this, we still have a big part in our mindset and really trying to fix that and push through. But I had a dream about her, and it was a long time ago. And I said, I had a dream about you. And I told her about it. I says, I came to your house and it was the middle of the day and you were in your pajamas. And when you opened the door, you were so embarrassed that I was there, and you didn't like, oh, what are you doing here? And, you know, and I was like, what are you doing? Why are you in your pajamas? You know? So fast forward 2 years later, okay, maybe a year later, I don't remember, but, I checked in with her and said, hey, how are you? Is everything okay? And I made a point to get together with her because I could feel that something was off. And, she came and she really kind of explained to me that she was going through a very, very difficult time where she felt very alone and in a dark place, and voices, you know, like and when I say voices, I'm not trying to make her sound crazy, but just things that are saying you're better off. Like everything is better off without
that
you. And I'm like,
negative mindset that attacks you.
Right. And, it hurt me because I was like, wow, like you're going through this, you're alone. And it takes 5 minutes to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, are you okay? And I said, what could I have done? Like, what could I do if I know or if I feel that you're experiencing this? And she brought up that dream. And she said, Lea, do you remember that dream? She says, I need you to show up. Aww. And I was like, dang, like if you have to go and knock on somebody's door because they ain't coming out or because they are not doing what you don't normally see them do, go walk your ass up to the door. Yes. Don't care if they're in their damn pajamas. Get them the hell out of the house. Yep. Even if they say, no, they don't want to do it. Well, then I'm just going to sit here with you. Right. You know, and that's that. So definitely recognize those things when people are going through it. All right,
got people here that'll sit with you.
No, yeah.
Yes, and you do.
I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? We do know that. And I think that the thought that I have in hearing you talk about that is because I used to not believe in depression until I got in it. You know what I mean? And like,
you're stuck, yeah.
The truth is this is the way I feel about it now. Like I told you, I feel like I could be a real dark person and a real light person. Yeah. It's the same thing with our mind. Our mind can be very positive or very negative. So like depression is just negative, but it's living in it. Living in it, Lea. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like the reason why I say, what am I doing now? And I say like, keep moving forward. It's because I can't live in it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I could tell these stories and you could feel sorry for me, but like, for what? Yeah. I didn't tell you about all my victories. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so you could be proud of me. You feel me? So like, you got to take one with the other. And I feel like the way I think about depression is it is the enemy. Yeah. It is the spirit that you know is out there because if there's good, there's evil. Yeah. You feel me? So like.
Two scriptures I want to say as you're on this thought right now is our thoughts are tremendously powerful. And God gave us our thoughts. He said, these are yours. These are not mine because we don't understand his thoughts. He said, so these are your thoughts. So one of the scriptures that he gives us is to take every thought captive. And I studied that word captive. Right. What does that mean, God? What does that mean when you say to take every thought captive? That means you take it captive. You hold it hostage if you need to. Right. You don't get to go any further than this. And I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that you stay captive. And the other ones, let them go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let them go out. Like, and that's that difference when you're talking about flesh and spirit. He also says, and now this may ruffle some feathers. I tell people I'm a different kind of Christian. and I don't say this aloud to many people because I'm very cautious about what I'm putting out there, because I have my beliefs and I have had God speak directly to me. And I'm sorry if you think that you can tell me different, that was not God speaking to me, then I'm sorry, whatever. But he says that I've given you all authority over the enemy. And God really started talking to me about the enemy. And he says, you think that the enemy is this person. You think that this enemy is this vicious, ugly looking, two-horned demon.
Right.
The enemy is you. And that flesh that we live in is you.
Right.
But I've given you all authority over the enemy.
Right.
So you have the power to fix those thoughts, to take them captive, to mold them, to move them into something else, to break anything that is against you. You have that power to do so. Yes. You just got to continue to walk in that. You got to continue to move forward and do whatever it is that you need to do to succeed, to be okay.
To get you through.
Yeah. That's going to make my chapter in my book better, because I talk about, like, you are the hero. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But you're also the enemy.
Yep.
So I love that pull. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That you are the hero, and that's just within you. And the enemy is also within. So, like, that's the big trick that God's playing on us.
I want to try to end this on a little bit of a happier note. So I want you to think about something right now.
You're not
okay?
going to give us a tap.
No.
Oh, she's giving us another tap.
I am a little bit, but it's a little
Did you
bit better.
watch the playback? Like, I didn't even start, like, for, like, a good
I was like, go, Dana, go.
I feel like I was in school. I was in school.
Then he was trying to prolong it. I'm like, put your pencil down.
You were cheating. She said put it down, and you were
But
going
I had a late
still.
start.
And
That's your fault.
And you didn't even put Leah's name in the circle.
That's all right.
I didn't say it.
Leah was in my circle.
I didn't say it.
Whatever, y'all. I'm over y'all.
So, okay, what I want you to do right now is I want you to tell me, Dana.
Yes,
all right.
Leah.
One of the things that you said was that, one of your dreams is to have a home. That's
It
like
is.
to have your home. I want you to tell me right now. No, hey, I'm going to get back to you on the next one. Okay? I want you to tell me right now, what are 5 items that you can imagine in your home right now?
5 items in my home?
Yes. His face. Yes. I want you to tell me, as you picture your home and you're walking inside, I want to know what items you see, whether it's a picture, whether it's a note. I want to know what it is.
All right. The first thing
This is not a test.
Is there's a bookshelf and Think and Grow Rich is on it. So that's the first thing I see.
Okay.
I do want the stairs to go up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the little overlook.
Those mommy
thing.
dearest stairs.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's rich people steps. That's what that is.
I'm going up like rich nigga staircase.
Okay, I love it. Keep telling me. All right, number
J.
3.
Cole this Thursday. You know what? Like, I love pool. So like I see a pool table in my game room.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But there's also a music studio. Like I want a studio in my home. And then the 5th item is a picture of my son.
Love it. I can see it.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
That's my house. You could picture that's
your
really
house.
my house. You know that's my house.
Do we got to take our shoes off?
Can we come and chill?
Yeah.
Okay.
One y'all could
We'll
chill.
be in the music studio.
Yeah. You got to
Doing covers.
Get Leah on the stage. Here she goes. She trying to be on the stage again.
Check me out on Jenny Jones Show.
Uh-oh. Get it,
My
girl.
talents will fine. I'll make you mine.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So I want you to stick with that picture. I want you to carry that picture. I want you to continue to
It's on my vision
visualize.
board.
All right.
It's on my vision board. I got a vision board.
Take a picture of it and post it in the comments.
Yes.
My-
Can
of
you
my
do that?
vision board?
Can you do that? Can you do
Yes.
that on YouTube?
We want to
don't
see
know.
what your vision board looks like. I want
You
to see
have the
what it looks
staircase and you have the bookshelf.
It's a picture of the outside of the house, but when you walk in, the staircase right there.
Okay.
like. Okay.
All right. I like
Yeah,
it.
I've had this same vision board since like probably like 16, 17, like 2016, 2017.
I just, while he's speaking, I'm like, okay, like we're going to Dana's house for a little
Right,
barbecue.
right.
Walking in and there's got people around and I
Right.
walked in and I saw his little bookshelf and I'm like, there's that book. And then we walk in and he's like waving downstairs to us like, hey, come in.
Yeah.
And then we're like, me and Whitney, and we're like, we're going to go to the studio.
Yep. We're going to go record. We're going to go put some down.
I'm gonna love y'all.
I will be right back.
I'm gonna love y'all. I can't wait for this day.
All right,
God
guys.
is good. That's what that was.
All the time. All the time.
Good
he
job,
is good.
Lea.
I just want to
appreciate that.
leave on this last note that the scripture I want to give today is John 20:29, and it just says that because you have seen me, you've believed, but blessed are those people who have not seen me and believe. Ending on
Blind
that
faith.
one, blind faith.
I love that.
That's it, guys.
Love y'all.